Hey guys, this is Jules from Indie Faith Podcast. You're listening to episode 30, part 2. If you haven't already listened to part 1, be sure to click on the previous episode. But this is part 2. Okay, so we posted up a Dawn Raid clip, and somebody commented on the clip on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they said Jacinda's father was one of the police officers in the Dawn Raids. Like father, like daughter, or something like that. And then and they started I honestly, when I responded the first time, I didn't think it was gonna be a big thing.
Yeah.
All I said was I don't think that we should, judge people on the sins of their parents.
Yeah.
Or for the sins of their parents.
Yeah.
And then that person just
they just blew up.
They took it to another level. And then I was so she was like that I love Jacinda, or the thing that triggered me was when we were just talking about not getting triggered, but this actually triggered me. She said that open your eyes.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, Kaz isn't gonna like that.
She was like, open your eyes, because she obviously doesn't like Jacinda.
Yes.
And for me, in my head, I was thinking it's still about the Dawn Raids, because she commented on my Dawn Raids video.
Yeah.
So I was like, open my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, so basically she was saying that, Jacinda, she's evil. She represents a system that, what do you call it? Inflicting pain on people.
Yeah.
What did she say? Treating people. What was
like vermin.
Yeah, treating people like vermin.
Yeah. Because of lockdown.
Yeah, and just because I said that we shouldn't, I don't think we should judge anybody, by the sins of their parents, she automatically thinks that I'm I love.
Yeah.
Jacinda.
Yeah, support your auntie Cinda, Jacinda then.
Yeah.
She's... And then I was... Okay, I'll let you keep going, sorry.
No. But, to be honest, I can't remember exactly word for word.
Yeah.
What she was saying, but yeah, the gist of it was she was complaining about Jacinda, and she was saying that Jacinda's like her father, who was a police officer in the Dawn Raids, and then and then she told me to open my eyes.
Yeah.
And that and all I said to her that our eyes are open, our ancestors' eyes were open. We are aware that the system is corrupt.
Yeah.
But for me, it was she's talking about a person's father.
Yeah.
Anyway, she just took it to another level, and then she said something about COVID.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like, oh, so this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's about the vaccine then. So it's got nothing to do with Dawn Raids.
Yeah.
You're commenting on my Dawn Raids clip.
Yeah.
But really you're upset about that you have to take a vaccine.
Yeah.
That they're forcing you to take a vaccine, because that's what she was saying. That she doesn't want to be locked down and forced to take the jab.
Yeah.
And that's what Jacinda's forcing them to do.
Yeah. And then I think that's when we realized, well, at least for me, I realized it was so obvious. It had nothing to do with the clip.
Yeah. And that's what I said to her as well. I was like, so that's what you're really upset about. You're not upset about the Dawn Raids.
Yeah.
And then I just advised her
to
if she's going to fight if she wants to complain to the people in the system, and don't use dawn raids as a blanket.
Yep.
Because if you're upset about getting the vaccine, then talk about the vaccine, but don't like go and like search their history and be like, oh, she was her dad was a dawn raid police officer. Oh, you know. So I don't know if it's her way of recruiting people.
Well, that's when she ended up being all like, you lot are like, you know, we can't save you kind of thing. Like, you're too far gone or something along those lines. She
got really aggressive. And then you jumped on.
Yeah.
And then you commented. And then she didn't respond to my comment. She didn't respond to my comment, but she responded to yours after, because I had asked, what did I say? I mentioned that, you know, I brought up like, you know, us sort of we've been treated like vermin for like, you know, our people have been treated like vermin for decades. And like, you know, where were you, since you're commenting on my dawn raids clip, where was this energy, where were your voices, you know, defending our people in that time? But you now want to complain because you have to take a vaccine, and now you want to say that the system is corrupt. It's been corrupt for like ages.
Open your eyes, sis.
Yeah. That's why I was like, you're telling me. It got me heated. It got me heated.
It really did. Because I was leaving it all to you, because I was like, Kaz has got this. I don't need to put anything, because you got this. But then she still wasn't listening.
No. And then she got racist, because then she was like, when I can't remember what your comment was.
Because I was like, it's painfully obvious that you are not mad at us. You're not mad at this post that we've put up. You're mad about something that has nothing to do with it. So if you're this mad about it, go and be productive and do something about it. But don't come here and you know, with your snarky comments and, you know, calling my cousin despicable and like all this stuff, when it really has nothing to do with us. Go and do something about it. Go be productive. Don't come for us.
Yeah. And then she was like, you people you lot are past saving. And then that's when I knew she was like, all right, you just, not only did you prove your ignorance, but now you're showing that you're a racist. We're done here. But yeah, so like, and that this is what I wanted to talk about, and it will segue to our next topic as well. Sorry, cuz I'm just gonna flip it in a different order.
Probably gonna hit my head.
So what I was basically, what we were arguing about was that I was trying to say that you know, she's complaining about a system that is corrupt when we know that. We have fought that, we fought the system for however long we've been fighting it.
Like, as brown people and as Pasifika people, we still get treated like vermin today.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, this is from a white lady.
Oh, yes. If you didn't already know.
From a Caucasian lady. So she came onto our page, commented on our Dawn Raids clip, and basically told us that the system is corrupt and that, you know, we shouldn't support Jacinda. Basically what they were saying. My point was back to this person was, yes, we know the system is corrupt. We are like, you know, for how many years, like, you know, our ancestors have, like, you know, tried to fight this system. We know that. But like she was attacking us when I was like, but you're angry at the system now because it is forcing you to take medication that, you know, you don't want to take. And I, you know, I personally, my view, I agree with that. But don't come at us and telling us to open our eyes when our eyes have been open for how many years? You've only just realized that now.
You're all of a sudden woke.
Yes. And I'm like, don't don't come to us with your woke status when we've known this for how many years. That was pretty much my argument.
Yeah.
And she took it in a way that I was like, oh, so you pick and choose when, the system, or when you want to sort of stand up to the system.
Like if it suits us. And I'm just like,
yeah. She thought like, so I'm not against the vaccine, but, so like she basically said that I'm not going to fight it because I don't agree with what she was saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, no, what I'm saying is that you're talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
You're attacking the wrong people.
Yeah.
Like, we know what the system is like. You're talking to people who, Pacific Islanders have been under, we have been fighting the system for years. We've had medication forced down our throats. And now you want to be the one, and just because now it's happening to you guys, to white people, you want to throw up like, all this like, throw out all this energy.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, my point was, where was all that energy when we were fighting it?
Yeah.
And now you expect us to support you guys?
Yeah.
To
We're
fight
still
the
fighting
system?
through our own stuff.
Yeah. That was my whole point.
Yeah.
So the reason why So the reason why I wanted to leave this last, because I wanted to segue it to our next topic, which was about the COVID vaccine. So, so basically, we know that, where we're heading now with this whole COVID thing is that we're pretty much getting forced to take the vaccine.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But like, they don't come out right and say it, but basically we're all forced to take it. I've even heard from work that it's going to be forced as well at work. So you're not allowed to enter the workplace unless you have the vaccine.
Yeah.
Basically. So if you don't have the vaccine, you lose your job.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And also, vax passports are coming out. So, you can't access certain, things unless you have the vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah. How am I going to talk about this?
I'm trying to think of a way where we can talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, okay, so what I've noticed is, this is just me assuming as well. So like, don't quote me on this, but from my observation, with this whole lockdown, I've noticed that mainly the LGAs, the local government areas that have been targeted, because, okay, so for those that are not in Australia, so our government, so here in New South Wales, we're in lockdown, but only certain areas are in complete lockdown where you can't do anything, can't go out, but there's other areas that can.
Yeah.
And so what I've noticed is that the local government areas that have been in complete lockdown are the ones with the majority of minorities.
Yep.
And there's like, it's obvious that there's a target that they need to meet for how many people to get, how much of the population need to get vaccinated. Like it's just putting two and two together, and it's like, well, they need to meet this target. They're targeting the local government areas that are mostly minorities, and it's like, well, obviously we're the ones that we must be the areas that are not getting vaccinated. It's not because we have a high COVID cases. I think we're the areas that are not getting vaccinated, and I think that's why we're the ones that are suffering.
Yeah.
My thing with this is, what I wanted to talk about in the whole vaccine topic is why minorities are not getting vaccinated. Like, why do you think, not just islanders, like other, South Americans, other minority cultures.
Yeah.
Middle Easterns as well. Like, I've noticed that, a lot of us are the ones that are not not going out to get the vaccination.
I also
The
think
vaccine.
I'm going to be. This is just me personally. I don't think I'm going out of my way to get vaccinated, simply because I do not know enough to consider whether or not I should get vaccinated or not. I don't know if it's a tactic to scare people into getting the vaccination. Because with other vaccines, you know how before all of this, there were anti-vaxxers, and then there were people who were for vaccinations and everything.
Yeah.
They had a choice, whereas now it's like being forced. It's really being forced, and I think I didn't even know that we weren't getting vaccinated. Like, we weren't getting the vaccine. The only reason why I think what you're saying actually makes sense now is because the ones who are, how do I say this? People are getting the vaccine now, whereas we all have to wait. Like, the next available, I checked to get the vaccine, the Pfizer. I checked when it is available, and the next available for me is end of October, early November.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, well, why is it so, so stressful and so like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to take this vaccine, whatever. But it's not available to me until like months later, whereas I know people who have gotten it. So how dangerous, like if people were actually explaining it properly and not putting, local government areas in lockdown, specifically the minorities, because this started in Bondi. In New South Wales, it happened in Bondi first. This person went all over wherever they went, spread it, but there was no sense of enforcement or police or whatever during that period. Now, all of a sudden, because it's been spread out to the areas with minorities, they've brought up, was it 1,000 police officers?
Mm-hmm. Or more.
Yeah, that came out, and now that they're seeking, even, army assistance to help, lock down these local areas, like local government areas. Where was that when it initially happened, in the eastern suburbs or in the upper class areas? Why didn't it happen then and there? So it could have been avoided spreading to the areas with minorities.
Yeah.
And now the areas with minorities don't have access to the Pfizer or the other vaccine until like in another couple of months. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah. Especially when they first came out and said that AstraZeneca causes blood clotting.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody's not taking the AstraZeneca. And they're all waiting for the Pfizer, but now they're coming out and saying, just get the AstraZeneca.
Yeah.
But like, and look, it's not confirmed. I'm not, like, this is just based on my assumption that these local government areas are highly populated by minorities. This is just my assumption, but because I live in this area, and it's also in your area, and I can see, like, physically see, it's mostly minorities that live in these areas.
Yeah.
So that's it's, don't quote me on that. Like, that's just based on my observation.
Yeah.
But why I wanted to talk about this in our episode was, like, if it is minorities that they're targeting, and if it is the minorities that are not getting vaccinated, my assumption is that the reason why is because our people are the ones that have suffered from, like, by the system for how many years. So how can we sort of like automatically, or like, in the first instance, trust the government to, like, put something in our bodies? After we've we've gone how many centuries suffering under the system, and then they roll out something. Of course, our people are going to be like, well, we'll just wait, see what happens, see if there's any, if we notice any side effects, with the ones that are vaccinated, and then we'll, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, for me, it's like, I think our cultures, it's just ingrained in us to sort of like, think about it first before we actually jump into it. But because we're taking the time to think about it, we're just waiting. Everyone already starting everyone's already attacking us, calling us anti-vaxxers,
Yeah.
and that we're the ones that want to spread
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like hated on.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how it even causes like arguments within families.
Yeah. Like it's all
Um,
about division.
yeah,
And I'm just
yeah,
like, this is what you wanted.
yeah. And it's like for us, this is like deja vu in a way. It's like history repeating itself. You know what I mean? It causes division,
Yeah.
and then like we get forced to take something that we didn't want.
Yeah.
We get forced to change our ways
Yeah.
because they've come and taken over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're all used to that. I was gonna say masangi, but we're all used to that. And yeah, so now it's happening again. Of course, our people are gonna be like, nah, I'm just gonna wait and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean we're against it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why people assume that, because it's just like, because I know, like, I hate people who use examples of like, well, is your child vaccinated? If you're all right with them getting all of their vaccination shots before they go to school, before they go to daycare, how come you're all right with that? But now all of a sudden with this, but I'm just like, because where was this? Like, how is it that there's like all these other illnesses that don't have cures, don't have any vaccines or whatever, and now with this, deadly as virus, all of a sudden there's a vaccine?
Yeah.
Like,
but there's a lot of confusion around it. There's so much uncertainty around the freaking virus.
Yeah.
The vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
And
the
it's
virus
like,
itself, because I'm just like, isn't it a cold? Like, why aren't people in like, ICU if they do have it? Like, how come people are saying, people who have passed away from the COVID, but then the family members have confirmed, no, it wasn't COVID. They had a pre-existing condition.
yeah.
And then it's just like, well, are you just categorizing all the deaths that we're going to have for how long? You're just going to all put it under the COVID, this is
umbrella, yeah.
As, they had COVID. They died from COVID. But family members are speaking out and saying, no, it wasn't COVID. They had a pre-existing condition and they died from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just too confusing.
Yeah. Like that most recent one, a young Iraqi male, 27-year-old. He it was all over media that this guy died from, and he was just here as well, lives in Fairfield and died in Liverpool Hospital.
Yeah.
And they said that he died from COVID. And then family members were like, oh, he had a long history of heart problems.
Yeah.
And he died they assumed he died he died from heart failure. But they said, I think one of the cousins said, we'll wait to see what the coroner report says. But before the coroner report, that's from the family member saying that the coroner report will wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
How is it that the media got they've already diagnosed, they've already said that he died from COVID? So how did they get that information if the coroner report wasn't out yet?
Yeah.
Things like that. And I think because our people was anything like that, that's sus like that, of course we're gonna think twice.
Yeah.
Because we've already been burnt before. It's like if your partner cheated on you, and then obviously the next relationship you're gonna go into, you're gonna be very cautious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna have your walls up, everything.
Yeah.
This is I'm not talking on behalf of everybody. I'm just saying that for, some minorities, this might be what they're going through, is that they have their walls up because they've been burnt before.
Yeah.
How many times? And now that the government's rolling out something that, that they have to put in their bodies.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people are jumping headfirst into this without sort of waiting or doing their research to see if there's any effects. This is going into your body. Your health should be important to you.
Yeah. If you get a blood clot in your heart or your brain from taking the vaccine, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? Like, what are you going to do? And they're like, oh no, you can get it, like, you can, like, blood clots are even, there's a higher chance you'll get a blood clot just being on the pill.
Yeah.
That is still not very comforting, man.
Yeah. But like that, but even with that, like for me, I already have reactions when I take the contraception pill. I'm scared, like what this is gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, they haven't come out and said, like, the information that they've provided is so confusing.
Yeah.
That of course people are not gonna jump headfirst into getting the vaccine.
Yeah.
Like props to all those people that did.
Yeah.
But respect the people that
Yeah.
are choosing to
That's
wait.
your choice. You chose to do that. So others
Yeah.
have a choice also. Like,
Yeah.
I think because this lockdown is also not helping, like, especially with people's mental state. So it's like,
yeah, and but like, there's just too much aggression over this, and like it really like, not even joking, it's breaking up families.
yeah,
Like I'm not surprised if later down the track, you know, they're gonna be like, I can't be around you because you didn't get vaccinated.
yeah,
Like that. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was just why I wanted to bring it up is because I thought it was interesting that just you know, sort of for our history,
yeah,
you know, our people's history with the government forcing us to do things.
yeah,
I was just interested to see whether, like, you know, that also might be why we are, you know, very cautious
yeah,
with this vaccination, why we're not jumping headfirst into it.
yeah.
And yeah, and I don't know. Let us know in the comments.
Yes, please.
If you know, you think that as well, like you're pretty cautious based on, you know, your own experiences with the system. Yeah. I have so much to say about it, but I know I've already been attacked a few times this week.
No, I'm just like, why is everyone coming? And you're like the most, like, out of us two, you're the least confrontational. That's why I'm just like, why are they going for like, who hurt you?
But yeah, yeah. Let us know in the comments what your views are on the COVID vaccine. Are you also open-minded to, you know, those people who choose to wait or choose not to get the vaccine?
Sorry, cousin.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi, Baba.
Sorry. Leaving. Say bye. Bye. Be good.
Miss you.
Sorry, cuz.
No, don't be sorry. I think that's the first time people are going to see baby.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's my baby. Sorry. She had to say bye because I won't see her.
Oh. Yeah. So I forgot what I was saying.
It was if anyone has any comments or, you know, reasons or, you know, your own opinions about, you know, the vaccination, your thoughts. Are you going to take it? Are you being cautious? Please let us know, because I am still on the fence. I don't know what the right thing to do is. I'm still confused. I've got my baby to think about as well. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I think that's another thing is like for me, when it comes to forcing kids to take the vaccination, like for me, like if I'm forced, if it comes down to that, yeah, I'll take it. But I don't know how I feel about my babies.
I don't know either. Like, I know they already do get vaccines, like, you know, when they from the time that they're born till they're like 5 before they start school and everything. But I don't like people making assumptions that, yeah, well, if you're all right to get them vaccinated for that, you should be all right. No, okay. I need to think. I need to the new one. Like, those ones have been working for hundreds of years or however long it's been, and it's been working. Whereas this one, we're still uncertain about it. We're still unsure.
They're still in testing phases.
Yeah,
as
people
well.
have gotten really bad, you know, reactions from it, and like some can't even walk. Like it's too, like it's how worth it is it if we do make our kids take it and then something happens to them? Like, what are you going to say to me then?
Yeah.
Like, well, you know, that was your kid. Gay.
Yeah. I'm not willing to take that risk.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I don't like people who, if you have that choice, you go for it, do you? But don't shit on other people who are undecided right now, because it's
Yeah.
a very scary time. It's a very, we're not even allowed to link up with our families and friends to even have proper conversations to see whether or not we should take it or not.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
takes time. Like, give us some time. If
Yeah.
like all this time in lockdown, give us time to process, breathe, and figure out what the next like course of action we're going to take is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. All right. We'll move on to the next topic of conversion therapy.
Oh, okay, yep. So, I know some of our followers and our guests even follow Chanel. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Is it Chanel?
Yep. I call it Chanel.
Yeah,
Chanel.
I call it Chanel. Basically, what I saw yesterday was repetitive or conversion therapy. So conversion therapy is basically the practice of people wanting to convert homosexuals, bisexuals, specifically the youth of the LGBTQ community into being straight. So they do different things where they try and like brainwash you, or abuse you, or physically they just do anything that they can to convert you into being straight.
Yeah.
New Zealand has just passed a law. I'm pretty sure it's a law. Let me double check that. Where it is now banned. So it's illegal to do this in New Zealand, which is amazing because it shouldn't have been something that was practiced to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So this is amazing. Chanel posted it, and I was actually really grateful because this has actually caused a lot of depression and kids to have mental issues, and some have committed suicide, or it is not effective. I don't know who thinks it is. It's not effective. The reason why I say this is because how I'm straight. I know I'm straight.
Yep.
When I was born, I just you just know.
Yeah.
Just like other people who are born, they just know. Like, I don't understand how it's one of those things where people are like, oh no, it's a disease, or no, it's seeking attention, or no, it's all in the head. They're not really gay. They're actually straight. We need to like smack it out of them.
Yeah.
If you think that, please don't come for me. Because as a mother, and I know I always use that as an example, to put your child through that sort of horror is not good parenting to me.
Yeah.
Where they, the kid's already terrified about coming out if they are, and they shouldn't have to be.
Yeah.
Like, kids should be able to be like, oh, I'm gay. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we're ever sitting around and then, we're just like, oh, I'm straight. Like, no one should care what your sexual orientation is. Like, in a perfect world, no one should really care. But for some reason, if you're not straight, we still have, people who consider that as something like a negative.
Yeah.
I still don't know why, but whatever. But yeah, so that conversion therapy now is illegal in New Zealand. I was surprised to find that it's actually not illegal in Australia, where we are.
Wow.
So a lot of states in America, a lot of them actually, it's been made illegal. I'm pretty sure. Whereas here in Australia, because a lot of people are homophobic, I'm not saying majority of Australia are homophobic. I'm just saying doctors and other places of the church, they still practice this.
Wow.
And I that's what I wanted to talk about. I think I wanted to bring it up just so that we can be like, yes, New Zealand.
Yeah, now good on New Zealand for passing it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I thought that I didn't even know this still existed.
Yeah.
I thought that would have, been the first thing that they would ban.
Yeah.
Once I think especially way before gay marriage, like they've a lot of countries or a lot of states or cities, they've made that legal.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised that conversion therapy is still a thing.
a lot of them still do it on the hush hush because they know it's really frowned upon and you're not supposed to be actually doing it. So
Wow.
like on the undercover ones, and I'm just like, they need to be exposed.
Yeah.
But that was what I had. Thank you, Chanel, for posting that, and for everyone who fought for that, because it's something to like celebrate.
Yeah.
Especially for our Pasifika youth, because I know a lot of them whose parents, I don't know if it's with other ethnicities, but with island parents, it's still one of those things that's too hard to accept.
It's church. I'm just gonna outright say it.
Yeah. All right.
It's religion. You know, and like it's funny, but like I'm noticing this in every topic we talk about. Is the colonization.
Yeah.
But it's not, also like, the first, when we got introduced to Christianity.
Yeah.
There was no issue back then about, like, back then everyone was sleeping with whatever. Like, it didn't matter. We didn't have these rules, you know what I mean? Our people did not have these rules.
Yeah.
Introduced to Christianity, and then everything was like, there was the whole, the I read this recently as well, but the men becoming the head of the family.
Yeah.
And women aren't. But like, look back at our history, we have the goddess of war in Samoa is a female.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We did not have any of these separations.
Yeah.
Where like one gender does one thing and the other gender does another thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have roles, we didn't have these rules. Yeah, and like I honestly believe that, like, that it's religion.
Yeah. That was actually a good segue into the next topic, because
I didn't want to expose. You told me this before, but I didn't want to expose whoever it is. But remember when you said, like, and this just goes back to what I was saying. You know how you said that a few people mentioned that they won't watch our episode with Mihaka and James, because it's a gay topic and they're Muslim.
Yeah.
There you go. It's not just Christianity.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like religion.
Yeah.
Definitely religion.
I agree. But I didn't think of that until you said it, because I'm just like, why is it such a big deal?
Mm.
And no offense, like, with religion, if anything, there's a lot of sin within the church. Like, how is that acceptable? But your kid being gay or bisexual or whatever, how is that not acceptable?
Yeah.
Like, how do you decide what's more, like, acceptable than something else?
Yeah.
Like, you have people within the church who abuse children and it's swept under the rug. Why? And yet you're okay to take your kids somewhere to get conversion therapy in a place where children are abused. It's like you're just taking them to get slaughtered. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so backwards, like the whole shit. But props to New Zealand for finally, passing that law to end conversion therapy.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised that that's still happening.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The world we live in. Sorry, guys.
You're right.
Okay, so the next topic I wanted to talk about, I don't know if many viewers have heard of it or have seen it. I only saw it. How did I find it? Oh, I was on Chanel's page. I was on Chanel's page, and because I saw, conversion therapy is now illegal in New Zealand, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to keep browsing on her page, and, what else, I was just browsing. Then I came across this apology video from someone. I can say who.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did they apologize? Okay, sorry, I'll let you.
No, I don't mean like that, because I meant like the apology was them taking the piss.
Oh.
So it was basically them so I'm just going to say it. So this particular person from the Covert podcast, he put up this that's what I saw. I'm going back to what I saw. The apology video was him saying, To all the people I've offended or pissed off or rah, 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 I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody. That's all he said. And that's why Chanel had posted it, and she had some thoughts on it. And then I was like, oh, I wonder what this is about. Went onto the page, and then I found something that, I know we're talking about triggers and stuff. I found something that I'm not gonna. I was triggered. I was very triggered. The thing that triggered me were the words. The first thing I saw on this post were 4 people, and then the words on this actual video. And it had, do women bear 100% of the responsibility of being single mums? I was so triggered. Before I go into that, it's blown up. It's gotten so much, like, you know, exposure. Yeah. It's just like so many people have reacted to this actual podcast video snippet. So if you go onto their YouTube page, it has the whole video.
Oh yeah, I could have found it.
I think I only just found it, but it is quite long. I'm not gonna lie. That's why they sort of shortened it and put it into this video. So I think to fully grasp the concept and like what he's trying to say, you should watch the whole video. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch the whole one. But for me, I watched enough to not be as triggered as I was at the start. So I'll just ask you really quickly, Cuz, when you saw that post, how did you feel?
Did you want to, should we explain the context of it? Like what he actually said? Or did you want me to, do you want me to talk about what he said, or?
So I think I just want your reaction to the actual video first, and then I'll talk about the context.
Okay. When I saw it, I was I was triggered. I was pissed off. But then I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I'll explain why after. But
so basically what he is trying to say, I don't know if it was his delivery, but basically the single women are 100% responsible for being single mums.
Yeah.
Wait, I said that wrong. Single mums are 100% responsible for being single mums. They have chosen to be single mums.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that was the straight up message he was trying to say. And I'll explain why I felt the way I felt. So when I watched it, I was annoyed because there are 3 women in this video.
Yep.
So it's 1 male, 3 women. In my head, for some reason, I assumed the women would be able to voice a woman's opinion. And they do. I'm not saying that they didn't. That was their own opinion. But their opinion, for me, was just, yes, you're right. Like,
yeah,
that's all I got.
One of them straight out, like, she was like hyped, like jumping off her seat. She was, and I honestly thought when I first saw that, I thought she was gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go for you."
Yeah.
But then when she started speaking, she was like, "Yes, I agree." And I was like, "What the?" That's what I was shocked about.
Yeah, and I think I think my reaction to already being triggered was even more triggered because the 3 women are just, you know, I'm not saying anything bad about them. I don't know their experiences. I don't know what their circumstances, each to their own. But I think for me, I was already like, someone say something.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree. Like, but then I shouldn't be like that either. I shouldn't be like, you should disagree. If that's their opinion and they're sticking by it, that's them. For me, I'm not gonna lie, after I watched more of his content and more of people's points of views, and I actually had discussions about this with my friends, my male friends.
Yeah.
It sort of calmed me down a bit.
Yeah.
But I'll let you go first, and then I'll talk about my reasons, cuz.
Oh, sorry. What do you mean?
So how did you feel when you saw the video, you saw the girls' reactions? What is your view on single mums? And if you agree, if you think that they're 100% responsible, or just what is your opinion on that whole topic?
Oh, hell no. Like,
Yeah.
so in the video, he was like saying that, it's the women, because it's our responsibility, because we're the ones that give birth, we're the ones that fall pregnant, that's like, it's our responsibility to make sure that we're not sleeping around and falling pregnant in the first place. Like, that was what he was saying.
Yeah.
And when the other, like, especially that one that was jumping up in her seat, when she was like in agreement with that, and she was like saying it's the women or something like that. Like, that's what she said. I think when she was clapping as well. She was like, it's the women or something like that. That pissed me off, because it's like, you're a woman yourself.
Yeah.
If you had fallen pregnant, like, I don't know, maybe I don't know her story, but if, like, if she went through that experience where she was a single mom, would she be saying the same thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when people are they have a lot to say about parenting, but they've never been a parent.
Yeah.
They've never experienced the all the hardship that comes with it. It's totally, you have to experience it to know. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know these women's stories, whether they are single moms to be able to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I thought it was I was more, to be honest, I was more shocked at the, because I can't say, because I didn't really hear much about what the other two women said, but that one that did speak up, I was more shocked by what she was saying about it, and more upset with what she said than what the guy said.
Okay. No, that's fair, cuz I agree with what you're saying. You just pointed out a really great point where you have to be a parent to know what it is you're talking about. So I'm not gonna lie, again, I watched more videos and took the time to actually really figure out, because I was, again, heated, that it calmed me down. So the only things that I am going to, like, there were points that were made that I actually thought about, and then I was like, well, shit, those are sort of valid. And I'm not agreeing with 100% of what he said, but the points that were made, I was like, it's facts. So one of them was how, when a woman falls pregnant, their decision is, like, them to have the baby, keep the baby or not, is 100% on the woman. Yeah, she gets to make the decision. So let's say she gets pregnant, she's with a guy, and he says he doesn't want to keep the baby. He's like, I'm not ready to be a dad. Just, like, for whatever reason, he's like, oh, I'm not ready to be a dad. The decision is still ultimately up to her.
Okay, yeah.
So she gets to make that decision. She can still choose to have the baby.
Okay.
And the point that I saw was, if the guy says from the jump he doesn't want to have the baby, for me, this is me personally, I would not bother with this dude. Like, let's say I'm the woman in this example. If the guy told me, hey, I'm not ready to have a kid, he's right. I ultimately get to decide whether I have the baby or not. And because I am not for abortion, I would choose to still have the baby.
Yep.
I would choose to still have the baby, and then I would get rid of him. And then I would not even, because they were trying to say, if the woman chooses to have the baby, even when the guy said no, then you shouldn't be toxic as hell when you have the baby and you're trying to chase after him for child support, for moral support. Like, the guy could make the choice to, help look after this kid, or, raise the kid or support the kid. They could. Morally, you would think it's the right thing to do. But you shouldn't force them. It's not a should thing. They shouldn't have to, because they told you from the start they don't want the baby.
Okay, yep.
So I saw that. I was like, oh, crap. Well, then they have a point in that sense. Then I even felt bad for the men in that sense, where if the woman gets pregnant, she doesn't want the baby, but the man does, the decision is still up to her.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, crap. That's a valid point as well. Because if he says, I want to keep this baby, he can't force her to be 9 months pregnant, like to go through this pregnancy for 9 months, go through the labor, and then he gets the baby. Like, he can't force her. So they're right in that sense where she 100% gets to make the decision. Those were the only two things I agreed with. The rest of it, I was like, yeah, nah. Because it was too much in the sense of, like, it's the woman's fault because she chose the guy. Then I'm like, how do you know if a guy and a woman haven't been together for a long period of time? They were so in love, they were compatible, everything was, it was great. And then they decided to have a baby. And then for whatever reason, they just didn't work it out. There are instances where women and men still raise the kid and they're still civil. Like, it's not toxic or whatever.
Yeah.
It happens. And I think this person was failing to see that actually happens.
Yeah.
Because everyone is too fixated on, and I'm not going to lie, the majority of parents who split, it's toxic as hell. Like, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. Sometimes women can be super vindictive, super spiteful, super, like, to get back at the dad. They make it almost impossible for the dad to have a relationship with the kid.
Yeah.
But I also think men are just as bad. Like, men who have been in relationships with this woman, had the baby, then they've parted. Some of them just up and go. They just don't come back. Like, they don't help support the kid. They don't help raise the kid. They don't interact with the kid. They have no involvement. They're just as bad. So with this whole, it's 100% the woman's responsibility, I still don't agree.
Yeah.
I don't agree because it does take two to make a baby. But it depends on the circumstance, on who actually takes on the responsibility of being the single parent. Because there's dads who can be a single parent too.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Like,
I don't know if I agree so much with the with it is up to the woman when she does fall pregnant. Like, I think that to even get to that point where it becomes very complicated, that, you both have messed up to get to that point.
Yeah.
Where now she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And now you have to decide whether to keep it or not.
Yeah.
I think before even even till you get to that point, it's up to both. Like, it's both of their responsibilities. That's the risk that they take when they actually sleep together.
Yeah.
Like, like, obviously, if she fell pregnant, there was no protection. So, where is the deciding factor in that phase of your relationship? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why I disagree so much with this guy and how it's up to the single moms is because when you initiate, and before you even get pregnant, before you even become a single mom, there's two that, get into the bed.
Yeah.
There's two that make the decision to have sex to have unprotected sex.
Yeah.
But then when they fall pregnant, why is it up to one person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it should not be up to just one person. If you two made the decision to jump into bed, you two have the decision to decide what to do with baby.
Yeah.
And it should be a together thing throughout. If you started it together, you're going to end it together.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if one doesn't want the other, then I think, like, it should be fair. And yeah, you're right. Like, the woman it's her body. So whether she keeps the baby or not, like, it is up to the person. But I mean, like, you have a lot of people that are, on both sides. You have people that are manipulative, people that are vindictive. But for those that are fair-minded, I think that they would actually have a conversation with the person and suss, something out where they both really are in agreement. But, yeah, I think that's just a a small part of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think a lot of people do sort of come to terms with what they're going to do. But yeah, before all that, I think like it's not it's not a woman's fault to become a single mother if the way she fell pregnant was with a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like, and the fact that you know, a woman would agree to that, I'm shocked.
Yeah. Because every circumstance is different. But I think
Yeah.
it's just no one was willing to talk about different circumstances. It was just, no, it's the woman. It's her fault. She's the toxic one. She ultimately decides to keep the baby. Like, I get that. I totally understand that. It's valid. But I also don't think it's also right to 100% put all the responsibility and the blame on the single mum.
Yeah.
Because single mums, they have it rough, man. Like, they already have it rough, and then you have people who are just like, what's your fault?
But yeah. I mean, if the guy, like, you know, if they're talking about the woman, you know, pin the man down and you know, sort of like and raped him and then fell pregnant, you know what I mean? Then yeah, like I get it, but I mean, you know, that's not like
Yeah.
you can't say that.
Oh, sorry, cuz you go.
No, you're right.
No, I think what annoyed me was that they're trying to say the woman chooses the guy that she ends up with. Like, it's her fault she chose that guy. If she didn't choose that guy,
yeah.
And I was like, how does that make any sense? I was like, you can't help who you fall in love with. I was like,
yeah,
they could be a really great person.
But that was my point. Like, you know, that's a man trying to not take responsibility.
Yeah.
For, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, and that's what I meant by it's not like the woman pins them down.
Yeah.
And then she rapes him and then falls pregnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have the man also chooses to like sleep with her.
Yeah.
Unprotected. He's not wearing, you know, protection himself.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one thing that pisses me off. Sorry if I'm good. I'm just gonna go a little bit off topic. That's one thing that pisses me off is also why is it up to the woman to be protected when this also, you know, like things out there that, you know, a man uses too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's similar. It's just the same. Like, you know, they choose not to wear a condom, but then the woman falls pregnant. How is it her fault? You know what I mean? Like, it annoys me. Yeah. That like they would just
two people.
Yeah. But it's also like it's that old mentality of like, you know, the man doesn't accept responsibility for anything that he does.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting into that. Like, I'm not a feminist.
Yeah.
I'm not like, you know, attacking men, but like, hey, you know, I'm all for anybody who, you know, you take responsibility for your own shit.
Yeah.
And that means everyone,
yeah.
not just man, not just women.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's my thing. I can't stand it when people have kids and they can't, like, you know, and then they want to go out now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't, like, you know, they resent their kids and then they just leave the kids to their grandparents. You know what I mean? If you don't, like, you know, I can't stand it when people have kids but they not prepared to be parents.
Yeah. Well,
or they're not willing. Yeah, or they're not willing to be parents. That's what I meant. Yeah. Like, there are some people who, like, you know, have kids and they don't, you know, they don't have the experience of that, but they try. But I'm talking about the people who, like, you know, bloody have kids and then desert them out in the gutter or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah.
But that guy got a lot of hate, though.
He got a lot of hate. And I think, like, he even opened up like, he gave women, oh, not just women, he gave people the opportunity to go on his live and come to him with, like, their sort of arguments and their points of views. And some women were just not happy. Like, one hung up on him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, whatever, F you, and then hung up. I didn't like what he said. I didn't like it at all because from what I can gather, he is not a dad.
No.
And I know people are going to be like, oh, just because he's not a dad doesn't mean he shouldn't have an opinion. Of course, the man can have an opinion. But I think until you are a parent, you will fully understand what it is that you're talking about. You will then be like, oh, okay, there's a whole lot more than just my little opinion that I have on something that I do not know yet because I have not yet experienced it.
Yeah.
And that's what bothered me because I'm a parent, so I can say it. And I'm not saying I'm better than him or anything. I'm just saying as a mom, I know what I'm talking about. It's not as, black and white as how he's trying to make it.
What were his reasons for it? Like, was it just basically about like we have the control to abort or not?
So that was part of his reasons. The other part was that us as women, we choose the man that we're going to date or sleep with or have a relationship or whatever. It is up to you to do your sort of due diligence in making sure that the man that you're with isn't a piece of crap. That was his mentality. And I didn't like it at all because I'm just like, that means
so it's up to us to filter through and sort these men.
Yeah.
But they don't have, men are okay to just be dickheads.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, you're only looking at it from that point of view, but you're not understanding. Like, that makes no sense. I was like, a woman and a man, they get together, and I'm pretty sure the man isn't doing this whole checklist. So how come it's okay for them not to have this sort of, criteria? But the woman should make sure that she, like, I'm not saying it's a woman shouldn't make sure, of course, when you start meeting a guy, you need to suss them out. You need to get to know who they are. You need to make sure you're making the right decisions. If they're, if they're compatible, if they're, going to be a stable partner.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I don't think that responsibility falls solely on the woman.
Yeah.
If anything, it's both. So the man should make sure he gets with a woman who he can see is going to be a great, partner in life, a great, wife, a great mother. It takes a woman and a man to do that, not just a woman to be like, oh, make sure, you do this and that, because if you fall pregnant to him, that's on you. It's all your fault. Like, I do not agree with that.
Yeah. I guess, it's also the way he says it as well. His
delivery was what I felt was very condescending. Like, super very arrogant. Didn't want to, listen to reason.
Yeah.
From other people, specifically women, because I know, and I didn't like that he was all like, women are emotional, women are like, rah, 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 women can't, they're not willing to, be reasonable. And I'm just like, no, they are. You're not also taking the time to listen.
Yeah.
I was like, if you want to have your opinion and put it out there, then you should also be willing to at least be educated and listen as well. And I didn't get that sense from the videos I was watching.
Yeah.
Just me.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess if he, I don't know, I honestly don't know, I can't, assume what his true intentions were, whether it was, just to get more views and start triggering people so that, because now it has done in my favor that it's gone viral and everybody's watched it, but if he had intentions to sort of, if he had said it in a way where it's because I do agree that, us women, we don't value ourselves highly, you know what I mean? We're how do I say it? I don't think we realize the value that we have, our own value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And our own worth.
Yeah.
That I do agree in the sense where he says, we give it up too easy.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And I think that we should know how special we are.
Yeah.
That we, not men, but we're the ones that, give life You know, like we're there's so much. There's a lot of things that make us very special, and I just think that us as females, we don't see that.
Yeah.
We don't realize that within our own selves, the
Yeah.
power that we have. If he had said it that way, um, and if that was his intentions,
Yeah.
then it might not have been it might not have been received so negatively.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way his approach was in the little snippet that I saw
Yeah.
was he was very condescending, and it was like he did the opposite. He put women down.
Yeah. That's what I feel
But
like.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if his intentions were to, sort of say to women to realize your worth
Yeah.
and don't just pick, or don't not pick, but don't just sort of like put yourself out there and give it up too easy. Um, you know, if he meant it that way, then yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Maybe
But
he
if
did.
he's
Like maybe he did, but I think yeah, delivery, man.
yeah.
Better ways to approach these things, especially with women, because I know we are emotional beings, but that doesn't mean you're superior or anything. Like,
Exactly. I mean, but that's what we've been drilled, for centuries to look at that as a bad thing.
yeah,
You know, yes, we are emotional beings, but that's what makes us special.
yeah,
That's what makes us, strong.
yeah.
Really.
If anything, that's what
And
men lean on. Like, it's
exactly.
like,
You know.
man, get with a man then.
But even with it's not even like a female or male thing. It's you have your feminine qualities. Everyone has this.
Yeah,
We all have our feminine qualities. We also have our masculine qualities.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, that's for another topic. But
yeah,
like I just think that if he had delivered it a different way, if his intentions were what that he wanted women to know their worth,
yeah,
then yeah, his delivery was terrible.
yeah,
But if his intentions were to really hurt women and say that nah, it's you're responsible and men are not,
yeah,
then yeah, then he did the negative reception he got. He deserved it pretty
yeah.
much. That's my take on it. I don't know what to say about the women, like the woman that was in that video.
The other thing I can think of is that they know them on a more like, how we know our brothers and our cousins on a more like closer level when our relationship's different. And that's the only thing I can think of is maybe they have better rapport with him and they have a better relationship with him, that they understand what he wants to convey. That's what I can
True.
think of, because us as outsiders who don't know this individual, that's my first reaction was, who the heck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what I mean by the intention behind it. Maybe they also knew what his intentions
yeah,
were, but it just came off wrong.
really
Yeah.
wrong to me, man. Soz.
But it's easy to do, like when you do a podcast and then you have your little clips without sort of like
True.
knowing the person
Yeah.
and without the whole context. Like it's easy to assume, but
Yeah,
I mean, if that was if he actually meant like to be condescending and look at us as inferior,
yeah.
then yeah. But there was something else I wanted to say on that. Yeah, I don't know, I lost it.
It'll come to us. There's still a lot I'd like to say about it, but like another time.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it came to me, sorry. Religion.
Oh yes.
I think it's like I think that's another aspect of it too.
True. That is true though. I feel like it's connected. It's always connected.
Yeah, like like how it's frowned upon to have kids without marriage first. Like maybe he's very religious as well.
Maybe
That might be another.
I was trying to say that, get to know them first and then get married and then have the baby. I think. I was too filled with I don't know. Too much in my feelings. But that's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that because
Huh?
that was all. That was all I wanted to talk about with that one.
Yeah.
I think I sent it to you straight away when I saw it. I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Damn. I wonder if he like got all the a lot of subscribers from that.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just was like, yeah. I tried to watch a bit of the other women who went live to try and talk to him, but
Oh, actually, there, I came across somebody had been on. I don't know if she was one of them that was in that clip, or she's been in the in previous episodes. But she actually put up a post and said that that she hated being in that episode because that's how he is. He's very condescending.
oh no way!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
sorry, I
God.
just heard that. Yeah, that slipped my mind. But yeah, that I found that on Instagram. One of the women that was on a previous episode
Yeah,
or on that episode, I'm not sure. She came out and said that he's a real prick.
he's. I don't know if he is like that in real life, but from what I could gather from his even like his other short snips on Instagram, I get he's trying to raise awareness, I suppose, or sort of send out a message of some sort. But it's his deliverance that totally sucks to me. Like it doesn't come off as someone who's wanting to help. It's coming off as someone who wants you to feel like you don't know anything.
Yeah, downgrading.
Yeah, and I don't like
women.
that. I'm just like I'm willing to have a. That's another reason why I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit upset that I didn't go on his live response because I wanted to.
I didn't think he was that. He might not have been open-minded
That's what
to
I'm saying.
accept,
Yeah,
anyone else's
that's
opinion.
why I was
I
like, I
think he
wanted
just
to
wanted
bother.
to battle.
Well, that's what he pretty much says. That's what he said in his little clip. Where he was like, if you want to come and like go up against me, like bring it on, kind of. And I was just like, yeah, nah, this is like that sort of energy is not the type of energy I'm willing to put myself in unless it's both equal and open minded and it's an open space for real and open space.
Yeah,
And from what I could feel, it wasn't going to be like that.
yeah,
So that's just me assuming. Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah. I think that's been the I think that's been the running theme in this episode is being triggered or not.
yes, we are learning because honestly, you know me, the old me would have been like, ah!
Yeah, but it's
It's one of those choose
like
your battles kind of thing.
yeah.
Choose your battles, and is it worth it? And we can.
Well, I mean
Opinion.
I mean like you there's no point. I find this in a like this episode. There's no like every topic that we talked about in this main topic. Yeah, it's like there's no point arguing with someone who already has a narrative in their head. They're not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
They just want to make you agree with them.
Yeah.
And like it's just a complete waste of time.
And I'm not saying I would have been like that as well. Like, let's say, for argument's sake, if we were to have like an open discussion, I would be open to listening.
Yeah.
Like I am open to listening. As much as I had admitted I was triggered at the start, I am really interested to see, why they think like this.
Yeah.
But if I'm not going to get the same, respect, or it's not going to be reciprocated, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we'll end it at that. Like, the takeaway is that pick your battles.
Yeah.
Even if it's like there's no point arguing with somebody who already has a narrative in their head because they just want to speak for you to listen, but not speak for you to understand.
Yeah.
If you're on the receiving end as well, if you're on the other end as well, on the flip side of that, try and be more open-minded, man. Like, you have the best conversations when you're willing to have your perspective change. Like, don't just stick to what you know.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I, and I'll be honest, like I'm at the moment not gonna take this vaccine.
Yeah.
But if somebody was to, actually explain more the benefits of it, and without, like explain to me exactly what it is
Yeah.
and how it will not affect me, I'm open to that as well. But like, this is like, something we all sort of need to live with, sort of use in our life is pick your battles.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which one? Yeah. All right. Fetch. That was a long episode.
It really was.
Yeah.
I think it makes up for the month that we had off.
I know, way. I think we're caught up now.
Yeah. We have.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. I know it's not our usual episode. We were in the studio face to face. Hopefully, like just expect that this is gonna be like, I'm probably gonna be talking and the sound comes out 5 seconds later. We all experience that. That's part of the whole what do you call it? Video conferencing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Let us know your thoughts on any of the topics we discussed today as well. And make sure to subscribe to Logan Smith Media. Logan Smith Media is our YouTube page where we share with Smoke and Mirrors podcast and other podcasts.
Yeah.
And then same with Spreaker. We're also on Spreaker under Logan Smith Media as well. And then you just click on that and then go down to Indie Faith page. Social media, we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, under Indie Faith Podcast. So, yeah, check us out, follow us, and yeah, stay safe.